Kanye West, the man who lost it all from $2 billion to canceled. And to ballers, what if I told you that one man lost $2 billion in a single day? What if I told you he went from being one of the richest rappers alive to losing his billionaire status because of a few tweets? And what if I told you this same man is now selling Nazi merchandise and claiming he's worth $2.7 billion again, despite having no major brand partnerships left? Meet Kanye West, the musical genius who built one of the most successful fashion empires in history, only to destroy it all with anti-Semitic comments that shocked the world. But here's the most incredible part. His story isn't over, and his attempted comeback is just as controversial as his downfall. Before we uncover the truth behind Kanye's dramatic rise, catastrophic fall, and shocking attempts to rebuild his empire, if this story interests you, please hit that like button and subscribe. Seriously, it takes just 1 second, but it helps us tremendously. Did you subscribe? Perfect. Let's dive into one of the most dramatic financial collapses in celebrity history. The billionaire empire at its peak. At his peak, in 2021, Kanye West was worth an estimated $6.6 billion, making him one of the wealthiest musicians in history. This wasn't just rap money, this was business empire money. The foundation of his fortune was the Yeezy brand, his collaboration with German sportswear giant Adidas that generated $2 billion in annual revenue. The Yeezy brand wasn't just successful, it was revolutionary. The sneakers sold out within minutes of release, created massive resale markets, and turned Adidas into a serious competitor to Nike in the sneaker culture space. For Adidas, Yeezy represented 10% of their total annual revenue and helped them reach demographics they'd never connected with before. Kanye's empire extended beyond shoes. He had a billion-dollar partnership with Gap for his Yeezy Gap line, a record label called God. His real estate portfolio included properties in Wyoming, California, and other luxury locations worth over $100 million combined. The beginning of the end. The first cracks in Kanye's empire appeared in October 20. His erratic behavior, controversial statements, and increasingly unstable public appearances had been concerning fans and business partners alike. The catalyst came at Paris Fashion Week on October 3, 2022, when Kanye appeared wearing a White Lives Matter shirt, a slogan adopted by white supremacist groups. This wasn't just a fashion statement, it was a deliberate provocation that immediately sparked outrage from the Black community and civil rights organizations. But instead of backing down or apologizing, Kanye doubled down. He began posting anti-Semitic content on social media, including a now infamous Twitter post threatening to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. When Instagram and Twitter suspended his accounts, he continued his rants on podcasts and interviews. The $2 billion collapse. The business consequences were swift and devastating. Within weeks of his anti-Semitic comments, Kanye's carefully built empire began crumbling. The first major blow came when creative artists agency CIA, one of Hollywood's most powerful talent agencies, dropped him as a client. Balenciaga, the luxury fashion house that had collaborated with Kanye on high-end projects, immediately severed all ties. The fashion world, which had once celebrated his creativity, turned its back on him entirely. But the real devastation came on October 24. In their statement, they said, Adidas does not tolerate anti-Semitism and any other sort of hate speech. Yeezy's recent comments and actions have been unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous. This single decision cost Kanye $1.5 billion of his net worth. Instantly, the Yeezy-Adidas partnership, which had been valued as his primary asset, was gone. Forbes immediately removed him from their billionaire list, dropping his estimated net worth from $2 billion. The domino effect of destruction. The Adidas termination triggered a massive domino effect throughout Kanye's business empire. Gap accelerated their separation from the Yeezy Gap line, immediately pulling all products from stores and shutting down the YeezyGap.com website. Major retailers like Foot Locker announced they would no longer carry any Yeezy products. Resale platforms like StockX banned all Kanye-related merchandise from their platforms. Even his bank, JP Morgan Chase, had quietly ended their relationship with his Yeezy brand months earlier. The fashion industry's rejection was complete. Vogue magazine cut ties, production companies shelved documentaries about him, and even his lawyer quit. Kanye had become toxic to touch for any major corporation. The human cost was equally devastating. Adidas estimated the partnership termination would cost them $250 million in lost revenue for 2022 alone. But for Kanye, the cost was his entire business empire and reputation. The downward spiral continues. Instead of acknowledging his mistakes, Kanye continued his anti-Semitic rhetoric. In November 2022, He appeared on conspiracy theorist Alex Jones' InfoWars show, where he praised Adolf Hitler and denied the Holocaust. Wearing a black mask and carrying bizarre props, he said, "Every human being has value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler." These comments weren't just offensive, they were dangerous. Hate groups began using Kanye's celebrity to amplify their messages. Banners appeared over Los Angeles highways reading "Kanye is right about the Jews," and his anti-Semitic statements were projected during college football games. The impact extended beyond business. His children with Kim Kardashian became isolated from their father's increasingly erratic behavior. His mental health, which he'd previously discussed openly, seemed to deteriorate further under the pressure of losing his empire. The desperate comeback attempt. By late 2023, Kanye was reportedly 2 months from going bankrupt. He had poured everything into a $7 million Super Bowl advertisement for his remaining Yeezy products, desperately trying to clear inventory and generate cash flow. The Super Bowl ad was crude and low budget, featuring Kanye in a dentist chair saying he'd spent all his commercial money on dental work and had to shoot the ad on his iPhone. But surprisingly, it worked, generating $19.3 million in sales and temporarily saving him from complete financial ruin. Encouraged by this success, Kanye began rebuilding his brand independently. He started selling Yeezy products directly through his own website, claiming to have made $100 million in just 6 months despite having only limited distribution. The controversial claims of recovery. In January 2025, Kanye shocked the world by posting an Instagram screenshot claiming his net worth had rebounded to the valuation, allegedly from Eat Venture Services, was based on his music portfolio and his sole ownership of the Yeezy mark. This claim is highly disputed. Forbes continues to estimate his net worth at around $400 million. The discrepancy highlights the difficulty of valuing someone who owns intellectual property but has no major distribution partners. The reality is more complex than either number suggests. While Kanye does own the Yeezy trademark and his music catalog generates steady royalties, his ability to monetize these assets is severely limited by his damaged reputation. The ongoing controversy. Kanye's attempted comeback has been marred by continued controversial behavior. In February 2025, his Yeezy website began selling white t-shirts with black swastikas, labeled HHH. He also released a music video titled "Hail Hitler," hooligan version, featuring Nazi imagery and lyrics proclaiming, "So I became a Nazi, I'm the villain." These actions show that despite his financial losses, he hasn't changed his anti-Semitic view. The Anti-Defamation League has repeatedly condemned these actions, with CEO Ted Deutsch calling it blatant anti-Semitism and urging the music industry to take action. The current reality. Today, Kanye West exists in a strange limbo between his former billionaire status and complete cancellation. He has no major brand partnerships, no mainstream distribution deals, and no access to the corporate infrastructure that once made him wealthy. His current income comes primarily from his music catalog, which generates about $5 million annually in royalties, and direct sales of Yeezy products through his own limited channel. His real estate portfolio remains valuable, though he faces ongoing property tax issues totaling over The man who once challenged Nike's dominance and built a fashion empire now operates from the margins, selling controversial merchandise to a small but devoted fan base, willing to overlook his anti-Semitic statements. The broader impact. Kanye's fall represents more than just one man's financial collapse. It's a case study in how quickly success can evaporate when personal behavior becomes too toxic for corporate partners to tolerate. His story has sparked important conversations about mental health, accountability, and the responsibility of corporations when dealing with controversial figures. It's also highlighted how anti-Semitism, even from celebrities, can have real-world consequences for Jewish community. For Adidas, the partnership's end was initially devastating, but ultimately proved they were willing to sacrifice significant revenue to uphold their values. The company has since recovered much of their lost market share. The uncertain future. Whether Kanye can truly rebuild his empire remains questionable. His talent as a musician and fashion designer is undeniable, but his anti-Semitic views have made him permanently toxic to mainstream brands and partners. His claims of being worth $2.77 billion may be exaggerated, but they represent his determination to remain relevant and wealthy despite losing everything. The question is whether anyone will work with him again at the scale necessary to justify such valuation. The lessons learned. Kanye's story serves as a powerful reminder that in today's interconnected world, personal behavior and business success are inseparably linked. No amount of talent or past success can protect someone from the consequences of hate speech and anti-Semitism. His fall from $6.6 billion to potential bankruptcy and back to claimed billionaire status shows how volatile celebrity wealth can be when it's tied to personal brand partnerships rather than diversified investment. Closing. Kanye West's journey from billionaire to pariah to self-proclaimed billionaire again is one of the most dramatic financial stories in recent history. Whether you view him as a cautionary tale about unchecked power and mental health issues, or as a creative genius destroyed by corporate cancel culture, his impact on business and culture remains undeniable. The man who once said, "I am a god," learned that even gods can fall when they cross certain lines. But true to form, he's refusing to stay down, rebuilding his empire one controversial move at a time. What do you think about Kanye's dramatic rise and fall? Can someone truly come back from losing everything due to hate speech? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories about the world's most controversial figures. Until next time, keep questioning everything.